Let's do some simple math here. Normally people get home around 3 p.m. and suppose they eat around 6 p.m. That's like 3 hours right there. Let's say they go to bed at 10, which is pretty early for teenagers. That's 6 hours. So let's say they give us 3 hours of homework. That gives you another good 3 hours to do more. There's no way that our classes administer more than half of that time for homework. Therefore, there's no excuse here that homework keeps us up late. Say, however, that we have sports and extracurricular activities. Well, let's see. Now, I may not be the perfect example of an average teenager, but I get home from swim practice around 6 every day, eat dinner, and start doing homework at 7. I still manage to complete not only homework, but also at least half an hour of violin before I go to sleep at 9:30, which is pretty early. Now, like most teenagers, I do not solely do homework during that time period, perhaps surf the web or text. So there's absolutely no excuse for kids to be able to stay up till midnight because of homework. There is plenty of time for extracurricular activities and leisure that homework does not take away from. Homework creates all kinds of problems. It creates tensions with teachers and parents, along with driving students nuts. If this is the case, why do we still have homework? Simply because, as our first contention states, homework in high school helps with academic performance. Without the supplementary aid of homework, students would be less efficient at learning material in class and thus produce worse test grades. Homework has been around a long time and is the reason why it is still internationally accredited, because it produces results. The Westchester Institute of Human Services Research reports, the relationship between homework and academic performance is influenced heavily by grade level. The effects at the elementary level are trivial. For high school students, however, homework can make a significant impact on achievement. Our second point is that by reducing the amount of homework, the Department of Education is creating a bad habit for high school students. No longer do students have to worry about budgeting their time and will accustom to a lighter load of work. However, high school is supposed to be preparing students for the future. According to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, in October 2010, 68.1% of 2000 high school graduates were enrolled in colleges or universities. Thus, if a majority of students are going to college, high school should prepare them for such an opportunity. The homework amount in college is not lighter, if not greater than high school. Students will face a great deal of responsibility and independence. This means being accounted to get things done. Therefore, high schools should encourage this work ethic, which would carry on later in life. If the homework load is significantly reduced, students will begin to slack off and grow lazy. Lastly, homework is a vital part of the student's grades. Even though a student may not understand the entire material well, one can still keep up by doing all the homework. Homework gives students a chance to bring up the grade after they have flunked a test. Most students have in their high school career at least done poorly on one test. If we restricted the amount of homework, that one test would play a major part in one's grades. The negative does not believe that tests or quizzes should account for the entire grade. A quarter grade based solely on tests and quizzes with occasional homework assignment would be very arbitrary and unfair to the student. Homework also allows teachers to test one's learning ability and work ethic. If one constantly decides not to do work, the grade should reflect that. Homework seems like a nice thing to get rid of. However, there's no plausible plan to reduce the amount of homework primarily because there are too many variables. One must consider many aspects when judging the amount of homework assigned. How would we define the amount of homework someone takes? Time is not practical because what takes one kid 2 hours may take another kid like 30 minutes. In addition, using a number of assignments also does not seem workable. Assignments vary between subjects and according to the difficulty of the course. For example, an art project may take slightly more time than math problems to one kid, but maybe not for another. All in all, the time taken to do homework depends on the student and environmental factors. If the student is in a disruptive surrounding, they will take more time to complete the assignment. Therefore, there's no way to measure the amount of homework completed, and thus do not let affirmative studies deceive you. They say a certain amount of time that there's no control there. Therefore, another point is the trouble of enforcing this regulation. Public schools vary in quality and money. A poor public school may not be able to assign as much homework simply due to a poor teaching curriculum. On the other hand, a school that constantly produces high test scores would not want the homework load to decrease. It does not seem likely that the PA Department of Education would spend money to make sure each school followed this guideline. Keep in mind that resolution states significant restrictions, as my partner has defined, and thus there's no need for such a dramatic increase. Our opponents have produced a plan that still suggests up to 2 hours of homework a day. That is not a significant restriction from what we have now, according to the one survey which said 3 hours. However, my partner said it was like 1.5. So thus, the point is that there's not a significant restriction here. On the contrary, there's a more subtle way of reducing homework load without placing significant restriction. The negative would suggest as a counterplan to employ block scheduling in public high schools. A possible suggestion by the Department of Education, this program could come in different variations from alternating each day to each quarter at the discretion of the school. Block scheduling allows the students to take only half the amount of classes one day, but still meet the same 7-subject class time in a week or semester. This way, a student would only have to do homework for 4 classes each day instead of all the homework for 7 different subjects. If such a pattern was followed, time would be efficiently used. In conclusion, homework is essential for the learning process. Not only has homework been proven to increase academic performance when in the right amount, but it also provides a staple for the content in grades. It acts for a cushion for error on tests. More importantly, it prepares the student for the responsibility required later on in life. It will not get easier after high school, and students should be prepared for the work required afterwards. Do your homework, vote negative.